So before the video starts, I cannot be more excited to share with you guys a new app called 24. Now what is it? Well, it's a free to download messenger app on iOS or Android, and there's even a web version. Now the whole aim of it, well, it's to be anonymous. No one knows who you are, so if you have something private you want to share with someone, everyone can share a chat link, and you just have to go ahead and click on that, get whatever you want off your chest and hit that instant delete, the emergency delete, and everything is gone. If not, everything disappears in 24 hours. Now there's more fun to just doing that stuff because it is like a best friends challenge. Your buddies can post their link and all your buddies can message each other, but you have to figure out which one is actually messaging you because there is no name, no actual emojis of the person, just emojis in general. So you guys can see at one stage I was a freaking chocolate, then a goat, so you can do like a guess who, guess what emoji you are, like an icons change kind of thing, and everything goes in 24 hours. So I want you guys to post your link below in the comments and I will message you guys, but I also want you to message me, and we gotta guess if SuperRebel is messaging you or if you guys are messaging me from simply this video. So I want you guys to post your link everywhere and we're gonna have a ton of fun because this app is one of the coolest apps going. It is like the Snapchat for messengers, so check it out. The link is in the description below. What are you waiting for? What is going on, guys, and welcome your face back to another Spider-Man video. Now as the days get closer to E3, I know we're all getting super excited, right? Because we are definitely getting some new gameplay, we're definitely going to get a gameplay trailer, at least hopefully anyway, and we're going to receive a bunch of new information. But all of that stuff is, you know, on a good track. But today I want you to discuss 6 mistakes that have been made in previous Spider-Man games that definitely need to be avoided with this game in order for it to just be a completely different feel and I guess one of the best in the series. Now do bear in mind that this Spider-Man game is being developed by a brand new team, new studio, whatever you want to say, so everything is going to be different to begin with anyway. Now I also want you guys to get in the comment section below and maybe leave your thoughts and opinions on things that you didn't like in previous Spider-Man games that you want to see be avoided in this one. So leave your thoughts in the comment section below, but diving right into it, the first thing I want you to discuss, and I feel I have mentioned it before, but just in case I haven't, it is about repeating what's already been done before. So in a nutshell, I don't want too much repetitive side missions or random events to occur throughout the game. Sure, it probably will happen, but I don't want it to constantly be bombarded to myself, right? Like every time I load up the game, every time I'm just randomly web swinging around, go past a certain area, that same situation is gonna occur. If you look at previous Spider-Man games, like for example the kid losing his freaking balloon and all that kind of stuff, sure, like that's something that definitely irritated a lot of people after a certain amount of time, even though it's like a little cliche thing. I would like it to be avoided, but I feel it might be an Easter egg instead in this game. But just coming across like random villains and all that stuff, because it does also go into my next point, which is about repetitive combat encounters. So like the combos in general look like they're going to be super cool. Everything from what we have seen looks to be different each time, but bumping into the same enemies, that's not something I really want to do. I don't want to be chasing the same freaking guy throughout the time I'm playing the game, because that can definitely be annoying. But I definitely want to bump into a lot of enemies, but there has to be variety. I don't want to bump into the same guy all the time and then have to kick his ass like every single day, because that's just not nice. Now the next thing is about making New York feel big for nothing. So as we all know, there are games out there that have a huge open world, like, you know, map in general, right? But having a game's map or city that's big for nothing is possibly the biggest mistake you can make. I guess I couldn't think of another way to say that, because it flat out is just that situation. So when I say this, I mean I don't want like random big ass billboards, right, in like a specific part of the map or buildings where you can absolutely do nothing with. Like you can't like break, you can't go into all that stuff. It's just basically being plonked there, you know, like it's literally big for nothing and its relevancy is absolutely zero. So that's something that has to be avoided. But again, from what we have seen, okay, from the Spider-Man Free Roam gameplay, the density city of New York and life in general looks incredible. It doesn't look like it's gonna be boring. It feels like there is gonna be something different going on each time. I know, well, one thing I really want to see, should I say, is how civilians are gonna react. Even though we've seen it very mildly, I guess, in previous videos, I want to see like full-on encounters on how people are gonna react by taking pictures with you, or simply hating you, maybe physically trying to assault you. Again, these are different things and making you know, New York big and for a purpose, because everyone's not gonna like you. Now, that partly has been confirmed, but as far as like the actions go, that's something I definitely want to see. Now, the next thing, just about combat again. Clunky combat mechanics. So, I guess a lot of people will agree and disagree with this. I see a lot of people saying that it needs to have a fast, fluid, and impactful like combat experience, so kind of like Batman Arkham Knight. That's probably a good game to compare it to. But if that's not the case, does it mean the combat could be, you know, terrible? I don't think so. But to define what I mean by clunky combat mechanics, I don't want me to be able to do like a load of combos, right? With my fists, I'm kicking this guy's ass, but essentially it's doing nothing and everything just feels clunky, right? Like it's slow and the damage it's actually doing is pretty much near enough to nothing because your fists are like big cushions, right? That's something you do not want to see. I want to be able to like punch someone, kick them, but like feel that, I guess, effect in my control, if that makes sense, like when it vibrates, all that kind of stuff, to feel like, wow, you are kicking this guy's ass. To me, anyway, that makes a big difference, but I want you guys to get in the comment section below and let me know what your thoughts are on that. I just want to know that every connection I'm going to make in combat is going to make me feel like I'm actually damaging that person. Now, the next thing is a lack of Peter Parker. We all know, it's been a known fact in the previous Spider-Man games, the lack of Peter Parker has just been huge, alright? We know that he's gonna have a big connection to the story in Spider-Man PS4, which I like, okay? That already kind of just knocks down what I don't want to see, basically. Like, it's the opposite. We're gonna see all this stuff, so that's great. But, like, I don't want it to just be like, we only play as him in a few missions and that's really it. You just kind of see cutscenes. I like to actually be able to continuously switch in and, you know, out of being Spider-Man and Peter Parker. That's a personal preference because you're building that connection, like, hey, you're a Peter Parker, you're a normal guy, and then bam, you could be a badass, you know, essentially superhero. So these things can definitely merge together and I feel like it needs to have that big connection. But if it's gonna be like a lack of Peter Parker where only at the beginning we're gonna get Peter Parker stuff and then throughout the game it kind of drifts away, that's a mistake, I guess. But we know Insomniac Games have said he's going to have a big role in the game, so that justifies everything I was going to say. But again, you guys can leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Would you be really bothered if there was a lack of Peter, or do you really want, you know, that big connection? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, the last thing is about morality systems. Now, Spider-Man is Spider-Man, right? And while there's something to be said about challenging the players with a strong narrative, like flipping the wheel and giving us the opportunity to do very un-Spidey-like things, is pretty much like immersion breaking, and it dedicates time and resources to a feature, I guess a feature in general that most players will probably not want to explore anyway. So, time wasting, you know, on things that you don't want to do, that is just completely taking like the purpose away from Spider-Man. That is going to be a waste of time, and that's something that definitely, hopefully anyway, is not going to be in the game. Like, I don't know, everyone feels different, but if it is in the game, an option to turn it on and off would be great. But those are a few things on past mistakes, you know, some Spider-Man games have made, and what I feel Spider-Man PS4 has to avoid at all costs. But you guys get in the comment section below, let me know what you think. That's going to wrap up this video here. Subscribe for more awesome content if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, have a great day, and adios amigos.